Hello everyone and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Walford podcast. Hello Alex, how are you?
I'm since I last saw you, a few minutes ago, I'm well, thank you.
Right.
I'm well. We got a free sample of Andrek's wet toilet tissues, which I've just sampled. I must say, feels very clean.
Good. Was that a sponsor on the show, is it? Or is that just
unsponsored? Unless Andrex want to, of course. Because
one day.
I mean, we will take toilet paper in lieu of payment, especially with the way that supermarkets seem to be emptying themselves out again because of the ridiculous nonsense.
I've not been.
Well, the newspapers are blaming the app, saying that the app is making people unnecessarily going into quarantine. But the actual facts are that the Euro deal and everything that we said would happen if we came out of Europe is happening, and it's now reflective of what's in our supermarkets.
Yeah, but they're blaming...
Of course, they're not blaming... COVID. Yeah, because obviously the newspapers are run by certain people. Anyway, yet again, straight into political.
I didn't even know that was happening, so that's interesting.
There you go.
So have you had a nice week? I mean, obviously, the past few weeks we've been telling you, your horoscope's been telling you to speak to your parents. Have we got any news? Have we got an update?
Well, I was going to see my parents this weekend. Mm-hmm. So I have spoken to my parents. You said last
week you might go visit them.
Yes. So I have spoken to my parents.
So you have spoken.
So that's one good. That's one barrier that we've broken. Mm-hmm. And when I told them I was going to come visit them, they then told me, oh no, you can't come visit because we've booked a holiday.
Another one. Well, they only just come back from their holiday, haven't they?
Yeah, but my parents like going on holidays. They're retired.
Cruises.
They love a cruise, and they've been island bound, I suppose you could say, because they've been land lovers for the last 18 months, because they've not been able to go on a cruise.
Quite a while, yeah.
And they've booked I think a record number of cruises. I think they're actually keeping the cruise industry alive single-handedly.
Although the cruise, it's only going around UK, isn't it, I think?
Well, I think they're the only cruises that are happening in the UK at the moment. You can either do a cruise that takes you around the island of the UK, or one that takes you out toward France, so the weather's a bit nicer. And then back again.
God.
I know, it's nuts, isn't it, that people are paying this, but people are paying a premium as well because they've been closed down for such a long time. All these cruise liners, they're having to charge extra to kind of compensate the money that they've lost out in the, because of COVID. And
are they enjoying their cruise as much as before?
I think
Because your parents like the boat, really. Is it a boat? Should I say that? Ship?
I forget. I got told off. I used to work.
You get told off on.
It's one or the other. I think you're meant to say
ship, not boat.
Yeah, not boat. It's not a boat. It's a ship.
So did they enjoy the boat?
I think so. I just said that sounds wrong. You saying boat, but they went.
I'm doing that verb.
They went on an MSC cruise,
right?
And apparently, which we've heard a lot of people say, MSC's food's not very good. So they have to pull their socks up. But everything else was fine about it. But my dad said it wasn't as good as P&O. All these brands.
P&O is the worst.
Obviously, there are other cruising companies available. We've been on a Royal Caribbean as before as well. And the best thing about a Royal Caribbean cruise is that you get these cups and they have these big vending machines.
All round the ship.
All around the ship. And you can just top them up as much as you like. And they sell root beer. In the UK, you can't buy root beer. Or if you can buy it, it's like super expensive.
£4 for a bottle. Like one glass bottle.
Yeah, and it's a small one as well. It's like a stubby. It's like 33 centilitres. And so...
you got quite addicted to them, didn't you?
I came addicted.
Was that our last holiday? I think it was.
That was. My mum and dad paid for Ben and I to go on a cruise with the family because they wanted to
spend time with them.
They wanted us to spend time with them. But no, there was an occasion as well. I think, wasn't it an anniversary? My mum and dad's anniversary.
Normally it's your mum's birthday or something.
Yeah. So we went on a cruise and it was a Royal Caribbean one. That was good, that cruise, though, because we went to Italy.
Yeah, as cruises go, it was good.
It's a better one. Although
I'm not a fan of cruises, if I'm honest.
I mean, I've worked on cruise ships in the past.
With Jane McDonald.
Of course, Jane and I like that. I worked on cruise ships as what's known as a shoppie. So basically, you work in the shops, and I don't know, there's something about, as a kid, my mum and dad used to take us on cruises as well. From the age of 15, we started going on cruises.
I never even knew. Cruises never even crossed my mind or anything before I met you, ever. I didn't even think about that cruises were a thing, ever.
Yeah. Oh, they're a thing.
I know they are.
They're a big thing.
But it never
Huge
crossed
industry.
my mind once. Not when I was younger. I never remember seeing cruise. It wasn't in my radar at all until I met your family, and then yes, I was introduced to cruises. But I'm not a fan of cruises.
You do like the cruises. You just don't like the cruise part.
I hate the ship.
Yeah.
I hate everything to do with the ship.
You hate the sit-down dinners. You like to go to the buffet.
I hate that the staff like come up to you and they're doing everything like basically if they were made to they would wipe your ass for you. Like I just don't like it. I don't like I feel like I'm looking down on them all the time and they're begging for me to let them do something.
You're throwing scraps and they're begging for more.
I hate it so much. It feels so don't know what the word is.
Demoralising.
Oh, it just feels like I'm meant to be, because I'm a customer on the ship, it feels like I'm meant to be better than the staff, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, but it's no different to a hotel, essentially.
No, it's different on a cruise ship, because they're like wandering around and like, you sit in the restaurant and then someone is a waiter to give you water, and then another waiter to do wine, and then another waiter to do your food, and it just feels, I'd rather just have no waiter. And like in the morning, someone comes in and like does your room, and I don't know.
Yeah, but again, how's that different to a hotel?
I don't know, it just feels weird that on a cruise ship it feels different. It feels horrible. I don't like it at all.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not fussed about the cruising part itself, but the cruise ships, I do like looking at, like when they announce there's a new cruise ship, I do like seeing them.
Even when you're there or like in a place for a day, you're only there for like 6 or 9 hours.
Oh, yeah, but that's
really annoying.
I see.
Well.
That's just, unfortunately, there's just what's happened with like the way they charge for docking now. Because in the old days, you used to be able to go to a dock and they would pretty much stay there overnight because docking didn't cost. But now they charge quite a lot for the ship, for the boat ship to stay there for longer than basically as soon as they go into the night time and an overnight starts, and then it's almost like a whole new charge for the cruise ship to stay there. Right. But I mean, like I say, so yeah.
I also don't like what they do to the ocean either.
Oh no, what they do to the ocean is terrible, absolutely atrocious. And for them to like say
all the waste of food and everything about them, I'm not a fan.
There's not much they can do. I mean,
don't do as much food.
Yeah, but the people go on cruises. Literally, like if you say to someone you go on a cruise, pretty much one of the top 3 things people will say to you is, "Oh, and you get off, you gain like a stone when you get off."
Like, some people's plates walking past you is quite
piled high,
amazing.
Aren't they? But they will eat it. Most people will eat it, but it's the food that's left after the thing, isn't it? After they've done the service, then that's disgusting.
So you managed to phone your parents and speak to them, but not meet them because they were busy.
Not this weekend.
No.
However, there is another weekend ahead. I've got another weekend off coming.
As long as they're not away.
Well, I don't think they will be. I hope they won't be. So yeah, I've kind of half fulfilled my horoscope this week.
I mean, your horoscope last week was you might be led down the wrong path by an attractive smile, and there might be a new relationship in store that you may
that
not.
Never happened.
May not. So no, that didn't happen.
No, sadly, no. I'm still here, aren't I?
Yours never come true. Your family come to the rescue today. You get the support that you need, either be emotional or financial. Didn't get any emotional support. They didn't want to see you, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I got minus emotional support. I think I got minus it.
Okay. So did you want to have a look at yours for next week quickly then?
Yeah, go on then. Let's see what I'm due.
So, perhaps you feel no joy connected to your job, or you're not being paid what you are worth. Your irritation could be reaching the tipping point. You could make a change. You may be weighing the possibilities of sailing off in a new direction.
I mean, maybe I should phone my parents right now and tell them, get me another ticket. Yeah, get me another ticket. I mean, I'm always a week behind, I think, because this week I did get a bit irritable.
You are a late Aries, so maybe you need to have like the other one. Your imagination could be running wild as you picture various scenarios that will allow you to climb over the wall and escape whatever prison you feel is closing in around you. So is that your job, or
was it you?
Is it me?
I mean, the
word keeps ringing in your ear is freedom.
Well, I've talked to you about maybe, because I don't know, you've got your own YouTube channel, haven't you? And it's us going off on a little road trip around doing the North Coast 500 around Scotland. Yes. And if Ben's very clever right now, he'll put a little plug at the bottom of the screen for his channel.
Episode 1 is out now for our vlog, everyone.
You need to look for Brand Sweden on YouTube for Ben's like vlogging travel channel. And And watching those videos again from when, because I said to you when we came home, I was immensely depressed. And it does make me want to just I just want to get a camper van and just go off. I mean, I want to go around, I want to go to Wales, I want to go around Wales, I want to go around Ireland, and I want to...
Europe.
And I want to go around Europe.
With double vax, nothing's stopping us now.
Well, there is, because other European countries aren't as ahead of us.
Yeah, but we can quarantine in our camper van for 2 weeks while we're parked up somewhere.
That would be tricky. That would be really tricky. If you're quarantining your camper van, I think you'd have to wait for Europe to catch up. But I mean, they're getting there. I mean,
they are. We will get there one day.
Yeah, it's just going to happen.
I saw a ridiculous conspiracy theory TikTok yesterday of this stupid woman, and she was like, "No one believes any of this, but this is happening. We told you about the vaccine passports, and now this is next." And she was saying that by 2030. Aeroplanes will be banned and you're only going to be allowed in the UK only, and all transport will be stopped because of global warming, is what she said. And then she said 10 years later they come out with electric planes. I was like, honestly, these conspiracy theory people...
Yeah, but why is that a bad thing if they come up with electric planes?
It's not. The bad thing was that they were being trapped. You're not allowed to travel for like 10 to 15 years. That's the.
But you can still travel. You could get a sailboat and travel. It's only. I say it's only.
Airplane, yeah, and she said all airports will close apart from Edinburgh and one in London.
Luton.
One of them, yeah. And she said all the others will close, and then they will close as well, and won't be able to fly.
That's a very precise prediction by her.
Oh, yeah, that's the next one.
I mean, I absolutely detest the fact that the government have decided to introduce these, what they're calling vaccine passports, because it actually has made some of the conspiracy theorists
comments
go, well, there you go, we got it right.
And loads of people commenting on them saying, they predicted this 18 months ago, this is what they were saying. I was like, no, don't listen to these fucking idiots.
I mean, okay, you got one out of what, a million different things that you've just thrown
and even
at the
that
wall.
Probably is not quite what they said. My horoscope for last week, which is really... Mine keeps coming true, doesn't it? This one says, if you've been thinking about buying a car or signing a purchase off, then there may be difficulties. It will maybe wait until later in the week until you sign any legal matters. You must read the provisions carefully before you sign. My car broke down this week, and I had to... That's mentioning my car in here.
Yeah, but it's saying if you're buying a new car... I suppose we did discuss whether you should buy a new car or...
My car literally broke out of literally nowhere. I've not used it for like 2 weeks.
You say out of nowhere. I said that problem's happened a few times in the past.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
But one of the problems that the mechanic came up with was something I told you. You could have saved yourself quite a few quid by just sorting it out yourself, and that's the oil level in the bloody oil.
Can oil dry up in a car if it's left in the sun for a long time? Because my car was left outside and it's been hot for like weeks.
No, oil is a lubricant. But if I don't know if when the engine's running... See, I'm saying right now, this is a disclaimer immediately. I know nothing about cars. My parents and my brother are mechanics. It somehow didn't come down to me. So I do not know. However, I know that oil is to lubricate the engine and blah, 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 blah. Perhaps because you hadn't used the car for a little while, but it was left in the sun, perhaps then the oil kind of was lubricating and it just kind of dried everything up.
Because I obviously still haven't found a job, everyone. Still there.
Ben's
now I've had a £700 bloody car bill, so that upset me greatly. You should start a
GoFundMe.
Please fund me. Patreon link below. When you sign up, just put my name.
Do you reckon Max Bowden will publicise it as well and pass it around Twitter for you?
Yeah, I think so. My last part didn't come true though. It says a family member may come to you for forgiveness. Hasn't happened. But although I am meeting my mum and dad tomorrow.
That's news to me.
Maybe, when you're at work.
Where are you meeting them?
I don't know. My mum said, "I'll leave it to you to arrange," and I've not thought about it.
Why don't you find a middle ground? Although you said your mum doesn't want to. Is it just your mum or your mum and your dad?
Mum and dad.
Oh, and if your dad can drive, you can go meet in the middle. Why don't you meet in Glasgow?
Oh, yeah, somewhere in Glasgow.
Glasgow would be nice. Lovely Glasgow.
So they might be saying sorry to me tomorrow for something that I don't know has happened. I'll let you know next week.
Let me know. You have to keep me. So when I come home from work tomorrow, will you be home or will I be left?
I don't know. Why?
I'm just wondering if I can watch something on Netflix tomorrow when you're not here or not.
You'll be on your own, I imagine.
Oh, good. I look forward to that.
Right, next week I am opportunity with penny pinching. Yes, I am penny pinching because of my stupid car. You may be trying to rationalise your way to purchasing something outside of your budget. It's a question of needs versus wants. Be practical and consider if you can find a way to write off your taxes or rent out for extra income.
You are doing the taxes at the moment. We've had an email from the tax people. I'm
going to have to rent this room to someone for extra income.
That's fine. I'd happily rent a room, but then we've got no studio. So what are we going to do? And also they're going to say, why is there a patch of white on this wall?
We'll have a third person on the podcast then. Our house guest.
I'd like that.
We'll call it the house guest. Every time there's a new person staying, will they have to appear on our podcast?
Wasn't there already a show
like a 10% discount
for daytime, like on daytime ITV, where they where I'm sure, like in the 90s or the early thousands, like when they had like a celebrity house had a house guest who'd stay with them, and you'd like. I vaguely remember that as a show.
Don't know.
If they haven't, they should.
If you're looking for love, you might meet someone in a cinema. A cinema? What's they called?
Cinema?
No, not cinema, a cinema. You know when you go like a teacher teach.
Seminar.
I won't be going to one of them. Exercise class, won't be going to one of them.
You might. We're joining a gym.
Summer study program, not doing that. Okay, well if I join a gym, I might meet my next bit on the side. If you're already in a loving relationship and didn't catch that, then use this positive energy to learn more about each other. Share information about your childhood. Talk about things that you like. So if you're ever quizzed on your sweetheart's favourites, you'll know the correct answers. So next week we will be doing a couples quiz.
I was about thinking that. We should do that.
Stay tuned for that.
Well, so what? You're going to ask a question about yourself and I have to answer it. And so,
I guess so.
Oh my God, let's do that. I really want to do that. Right, you've documented it on video. We are doing that next week. I'm going to think of 3 questions? I'm going to think of 3 questions this week of what I'm going to ask you, and 3 things that I know I've told you as well. I look forward to that because you're always saying to me, I've already said that to you. And I'm like, no, you haven't told me it.
I have.
Well, you haven't.
Well, we'll find out next week. Then.
Well, yeah, we won't because you'll still say that you've told me it and you'll make up all kinds of bull to say that you.
How come my horoscope says if you're already in love, then do this, but your one never says that? It just says date people all the time.
Because it's telling me that I shouldn't be with you anymore. It clearly is telling me that.
Quite troubling. Let me get my headphones. We're on wired headphones this week, everyone. We've gone back in time because...
Why has that happened?
I've not charged the other ones. But I actually prefer wired headphones, don't you?
Yes, because whenever I wear my headphones at work, they fall out all the time.
But you can't lose these, as you.
But I don't like these either. These don't fit my ear very well either.
I like these.
Apple spent like millions of billions of pounds to like making the precise headphones so they fit everyone's ears. But they don't bloody fit my ears. I tell you, if Apple want me to come all expenses paid trip to America, I'm really publicising this week, to have my ears measured, then I would happily allow them so they can get some earbuds that don't, fit in my ear properly. Anyway, I see that TikTok has bounced back up again. So.
Did you know that Primark wasn't originally called Primark?
I did know this already.
What was it called then?
It's called Pennies.
Oh, you do know?
Yeah, it's called Pennies in Ireland.
Then stop the...
Well,
I thought this was everyone else listening and watching can see, but it used to be called Pennies.
In Ireland it was. But then when they expanded in the UK, Pennies was a trademark name already, so they couldn't call it that, so they changed it to Primark.
Well, I never knew that.
The thing that I don't understand, though, is I thought that Primark was a Spanish company. I genuinely thought it was... I don't know. I just remember hearing it a long time ago that Primark was Spanish.
Some, shops along Spanish high streets have Primark, and there's not really Primark.
I'm sure. Maybe someone who worked as a fashion consultant was Spanish, but I swear I heard somewhere that Primark is somehow Spanish.
Do you remember? I don't know if it was you or not. Do you remember when we were somewhere abroad? I don't know if we were in a pub or somewhere, and someone was clubbing, but he was wearing an Asda uniform, and he bought it, and he'd been sold it, saying this is a brand. And he was wearing... Was that not you?
No, it wasn't me.
I can't remember where that was.
That's hilarious.
He was wearing an Asda uniform and he bought it on a market stall. You know how they have fake brands and stuff on market stalls in wherever country? Yeah, he was wearing a full Asda logo top and stuff.
That's hilarious.
And he said, this is the Asda.
But the brand was Asda?
And he thought it was a brand. Dolce & Gabbana or something.
Asda.
Yeah. It's really funny. It was the Tesco uniform. Asda uniform.
Asda. But the dumb thing is that Asda does have its own brand of clothing, and that's George.
Yeah, this is quite a while ago. Probably didn't.
George has been around forever. George has been around since I was very wee.
I don't know.
But Asda's quite a known brand worldwide because it's owned by Walmart. Or used to be, it's not anymore.
So yeah, they used to be called pennies, which I thought was interesting, but apparently you already know this.
Sorry, have I just ruined a whole section? How long did you put aside for this section?
Forever. No.
Yeah, so that's the whole podcast.
Okay, well fine. So it used to be called pennies. I never knew that. But there's still a store called Pennies in Ireland.
There's loads of they're all called pennies in Ireland.
Just
Not one.
else.
They're all just called pennies in Ireland. I love a Primark. I mean, it goes against all my morals.
Fast fashion.
I prefer though, and it's not so, in my mind it's not so bad because it's actually getting rid of the clothes that can't be sold. I call it Tacky Maxx, but it's called TK Maxx. In America it's called TJ Maxx. Again, that's weird. Why is it called TJ Maxx in America?
Tax reason. Isn't there a thing about TK Maxx though, that the companies make purposely not as good quality things to then sell to TK Maxx?
I don't think it's bad quality stuff.
TK Maxx. It's like the companies, they make their proper stuff and then they make the stuff they give to TK Maxx. So it's not actually leftover stock, it's purposely made.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So your morals aren't that great, thanks.
Well, they are because it's not fast fashion still. It's still, being passed down so that I can buy. But I do like a TK Maxx. I do like popping into TK Maxx.
My phone keeps doing this really annoying thing. Every time I open Twitter, it says I'm not logged in.
Oh dear.
But then I have to close it and then open it and then I'm logged in. It's really annoying.
It's probably all your negative attitude on Twitter. Everyone sees it. They can see through you, love.
Okay. Well, this other article then, it seems we're not talking about pennies anymore, fast fashion, because you already know it all. Mm-hmm. What about this? I saw that Dubai created their own weather because they were having a drought, far too hot, not enough rain. So they ended up using a technique called cloud seeding, which a drone gets launched into the clouds. It then checks all the things that are going on in the clouds and has the exact voltage needed to create rain to drop from a cloud.
I don't know.
Isn't that odd?
It's odd. It's incredibly clever, but
This is from IGN for some reason. I don't know why IGN are reporting this. It's not anything
IGN
to do
really
with
are the
IGN.
jack of all trades nowadays, aren't they?
That's what they're reporting.
I think
it feels very evil corporation taking over. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Can you use that? I suppose you can use that against.
Can
the
you
country.
use it for good?
Well, they're using it for good there because they're in a drought. I mean, there's places in Australia. We were watching that Miriam Margolyes documentary, and there was lots of places in Australia that haven't had rain, like farms that haven't had rain for months, if not years on end.
Destroying his whole family, wasn't it?
Well, it's making them go bankrupt. So I suppose in that respect, yes, of course, it does some good, but
it just sounds like
you're playing with Mother Nature. I mean, it's science,
we messed
isn't
up
it?
Mother Nature ourselves anyway. So,
well, yeah, but
what else can this have?
That's
a
through
knock-on
global
effect?
warming.
I used to think, actually, when I was young, one of my stupid childish thoughts, I remember seeing royal weddings, and I used to think, because it was always sunny on royal weddings and it never rains, and I used to think because they're the royal family, they had a thing where they could control the weather, so they made it so it was nice weather on their big events.
To be fair, and this is wildly speculative. In fact, to the point that it's not even speculative; it's just nonsense.
That's what I like.
I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that the royal family made a deal with the devil, and that they basically are where they are because they made a family-wide pact.
How many generations can a deal go on for, though? Well, it's breaking apart now, so maybe it's coming to the end of its deal.
Well, it's falling apart a little bit, isn't it? Maybe they've done something wrong.
It was the Queen's dad's dad who did it, maybe, a few generations ago.
I forget. But this also reminds me of a story, and I think it was Dubai again, that they were having I think I mentioned this to you, perhaps. They were having a concert, and I can't think who the concert was for.
Mariah Carey.
Possibly Mariah Carey. I mean, she's a sellout as well. Didn't she do a concert for a really horrible person in Dubai for $2 million?
Yeah, didn't she get paid in a blood diamond? But she said she didn't know and returned it. But Jennifer Lopez didn't or something. That
doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Maybe fabricating that. Someone, maybe it was Beyonce. It was someone who didn't pay it back, but Mariah did.
Because WWE are making deals with
devils.
Well, they are essentially, because that's why WWE are doing all these it's essentially they're kind of what do they call them? I want to say spectator matches, but they're kind of they're not official law matches. So basically they do a lot pay-per-view events in Dubai so they can get their foot in the door in Dubai. But every match result that happens in Dubai
Doesn't count.
Isn't affecting the main plot lines that they have on their main programming.
It's like a spin-off.
Yeah, this
Spin-off show.
I want to call it exhibition. They're doing exhibition matches, but they're charging pay-per-view rates to see them. So if you want to see them in
What's
the UK,
that got to do with Blood Diamond?
nothing at all. My story was that someone was doing a concert in Saudi Arabia, and because they didn't want it to rain on the night of the concert, they put concrete in the clouds so that they kind of thinking that it would cement the water, so the water would become solid and that they wouldn't rain. Again, I don't know if I dreamt this and whether this never actually happened and I made this all up.
But cement in the clouds, because clouds move. What does cement move with?
Well, no, the water that was in the grey clouds.
Well, got sucked up.
Yeah, kind of it's almost like a sponge. It's like they use the cement as like a giant sponge to like soak up the water so it wouldn't rain. But again, I can't remember if this actually happened, and this is making me look like a right idiot.
It sounds like something that happens on like Johnny Quest or something.
Maybe. But I'm sure I read that somewhere. Or someone told me. More likely is because I am a fool. If someone says something to me, I'm inclined to believe it immediately.
Unless I say it to you, then you just forget it.
I don't forget it. You don't tell me it.
My
Genuinely, you do not tell me it.
I do tell you it.
No, you
just
don't.
Listen to what I say.
I do listen to what you say.
And then, like 4 months later, someone says the exact same thing I just said, and then you'd be like, "Did you know this, Ben?"
It's not true.
You didn't believe me at the time.
Not
you only
true.
believe it when someone else says it.
It's not true. Ben says he says things and he doesn't say things, and the only way I can prove it. But to be fair, you also
record everything we do. Then.
We're going to record. Well, we do, yeah. So yeah,
the whole process of this podcast is to record our arguments.
Yeah, exactly. It's to make people see,
to prove that I'm right.
This is just a call for help for me, really.
Right. Something else that I saw that I haven't actually seen reported or many people talk about, which has really annoyed me, but. You know how the BBC release, like, their top earners of the year or whatever?
They have to by law now, yeah.
Well, this arsehole, this guy, Kevin McKenzie...
Oh, isn't he the... Click him again.
From The Sun, editor of The Sun, he's a twat.
Oh, yeah.
There he is for everyone to see.
No, he's ex-editor of The Sun.
Well, whatever. He's an arsehole. But anyway, he was on Twitter moaning. I'll read out the tweet. Appalled to learn ex-TV presenter June Sarpong, 44, is paid £267,000 a year for 3 days a week at the BBC's Diversity Champion. Leaves her free to earn more money from book deals, corporate work and more diversity on the board of Burberry. She makes 106k more than our PM.
Right, first of all, I'm sure Boris Johnson, as soon as he stops being PM, will make a buttload more money than that.
He
doing
writes
talks,
articles in
for the
newspapers
Spectator,
now.
for the Telegraph. Yeah, that's bull crap. Also, Kevin McKenzie, why can't she do jobs outside of the BBC? What stops you? Surely being a writer for The Sun, where you believe in entrepreneurialism and you believe in non-socialist roles, that people should be able to earn what they want in whatever way they want, that should be absolutely fine.
And the fact that he's targeted June as
a black female woman
who's earning 200 and something thousand.
Yeah.
This is the list of the top 10 earners.
Right.
All 10 white, by the way. So Gary Lineker, 1.63 million, doesn't mention him doing work on Foot Match of the Day.
Of course not.
And doing adverts for bloody crisps, eating crisps.
Walkers, and he's doing adverts now for Vision Express.
Exactly. So it's no coincidence that he's targeted June as, like, she's not even in the top 10. So it really pissed me off. It's like, and he says another tweet about her afterwards, and I was just like, you're just a fucking idiot, because... Yeah, BBC pay the diversity chief $260,000 a year, 3 days a week. This is shocking, but she still makes another $250,000 doing work for Burberry. It's like, so what?
And Rupert Murdoch. Funny he mentions Rupert Murdoch because he's an ex-editor of The Sun. So I think someone's just bitter because Rupert Murdoch and him.
So what if she does an extra $250,000? Who cares?
Absolutely. And as you say, it's funny how he's targeting
no one else.
A powerful black woman who has just a lot to say. Yeah,
who's doing an important job on the BBC, which is diversity, which is they desperately need.
Which is something that I'm sure he'd be the first one to moan about, that the BBC isn't diverse enough.
He doesn't agree, does it? He doesn't agree.
Well, exactly. All you have to do is look at a picture of him and you can instantly see the reason why he has a problem with
white
June
old
Sarpong.
Man. So I saw that and it really annoyed me, but I've not really seen anyone... I've not seen it mentioned anywhere, and it should.
I mean, it's not newsworthy, is it? But it's more Twitter.
Called out for it.
Well, he was on Twitter. You just said lots of people
but
called him
more
out for it.
openly. So,
Well, fine, but at the same time, like a lot of people post stuff on Twitter and they're normally called out there and then for it. But someone like him is
Well, he
probably just sat
doesn't
there. Exactly. So no matter what you say to him, he's just not going to care, is he? The only way he would care is if it dented his wallet and the amount of income he was making. But at the end of the day, he's only.
and he wouldn't care anyway if it was a white man. So,
Well, if a white man was challenging him.
no, if the white man was earning that.
Well, and the other thing is, I'd love him to say that to June's face. If he's got a problem with June, why doesn't he directly? Because funny that he didn't. I don't know if does June have a Twitter account?
Not sure. She must do.
Well, if she has a
He
Twitter
didn't
account,
tag her, did he?
no, he didn't tag her. So why didn't he tag her? If he's got a problem with what she earns, why didn't he tag her? Get in touch with her, Kevin. Let her know. Because if that's your problem, Kevin, then that's a problem you have with June, not just the BBC. So discuss it with June. Go on. See what she says about it. Because you won't. Because you're a small-dicked white twat. So fuck off.
Quite.
Sorry.
Okay.
Excuse my language, everyone. You don't tune in for this that.
Well, there'll be more of that in this section in a minute. But anyway, before that, we'll do a bit more fun, I think. Fun times.
Okay, go on.
Are you a millennial? Are you Gen Z? Are you a boomer? What are you?
I'm meant to be a millennial. I'm meant to be a millennial.
An old millennial. I saw a thing on TikTok the other day saying if you were born in like 98, before 98, you're known as an elder millennial.
I was born well before 90.
I know.
So are you, though, by the way.
I know, but an
Thank you.
elder.
Yeah.
That sounds...
I like being an elder. It makes me sound like I've got some importance in the world.
Right. Well, I found a quiz which has a list of questions and it decides whether you are more Gen Z or are you a cool millennial. Or are you an
Is
older
Gen Z not meant to
millennial?
be cool then?
Gen Z is the newest version.
Yeah, I thought they're... Well,
it
Gen
says
Z is the kind of poor nation. Poor,
We've all heard about Gen Z calling out millennials for being uncool. And the older generation are now fighting back. But if you're a cusper, I don't know what that is, you might be feeling a little conflicted. Maybe a cusper is in the middle of Gen Z and millennial. That's not you either. You might be feeling a little conflicted. Luckily, this quiz will sort you into the right generation so you know what side to be on. I'm actually on the side of Gen Z because Gen Z, I feel, have done so much good.
I agree. I completely agree.
Are happy to call people out. They're happy to tell people, they teach millennials to be much better. So I like Gen Z.
It's because they have to fight for everything they want. Because they've got no job opportunities. They've
And
got
they're way more open.
Well, they've got no job opportunities. They've got no housing opportunities. They're literally fighting for their lives. And it sounds like now they're having to pay for basically to restore this country from its COVID.
And Gen Zs
lockdown.
tend to be like ultra liberal. So the next generation are predicted to be more conservative. So
Yeah, but can you blame Gen Z for being like that, considering that for most of their... Well, I say most
that's
of their
why it
lives...
happens.
Yeah.
It like goes in like circles. So like the next two generations are meant to go more conservative. So because basically
I'll be dead.
that's a boomer. Basically, it happens is
That's true.
when we were young, we used to think our parents' ideas of fashions or whatever were old-fashioned, and boomers tended to be more of the conservative side. So millennial generation grew up to be more liberal, and then it's obviously had a knock-on effect to Gen Z. But when it goes into the next few generations, they'll be looking up to their parents who are more liberal, rebelling, and then thus automatically becoming more conservative.
That's interesting.
Isn't that weird?
That's really interesting.
Terrifying. But anyway,
As long as it doesn't go, because I think we're really into conservatism now, and I think it's gone to the point where it. Do you? I think it's
no,
got
not
to the,
conservative. I love how liberal the new generation.
Oh no, absolutely, I love it, and I'm hoping that now it's gone to that almost breaking point.
Where it breaks over.
But young people need to vote, right? I'm just going to have there's a mini
There's not a
round.
vote for like 4 weeks. There's not a vote for like 4 weeks.
What were you voting
Well, you
for?
said you need to vote, but there's not a vote for like 4 years. Sorry.
4 years. No, Ben. Voting is very important, and everyone should vote.
You should.
Regardless
it's
of
not
what
an election.
Well, of course you should vote.
That's the most important.
Yeah, obviously that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like voting for what's your favourite colour or anything like that. I'm voting.
Or Alexandra Burke.
What's your favourite colour, Alexandra Burke?
Or voting for Alexandra Burke on X Factor.
Oh, on X Factor. Is Alexandra Burke? Can you imagine we went into B&Q and said, "Could I please have Alexandra Burke, please?" And they just shake Alexandra Burke into a can. Anyway, yes, go on. Tell me what's happening here. What are we doing?
Oh, yes,
so am I a millennial?
Yes, are you a millennial? Are you a Gen Z?
Gen Z.
This quiz will help you know. And we can just talk about why these choices of questions were on here, I think. So the first one was, when you hear the name Jojo, who do you think about? Do you think about Jojo Siwa or Jojo, the singer? Do you not know who Jojo is?
No, not
Do you know who Jojo Siwa is?
I know Jojo It's not Sawala, is it? Siwa.
Whatever.
But Jojo Bows, yeah.
Oh, so you know her.
Yeah, I know her.
Okay, I would think Jojo, personally.
I don't know who she is.
It's just too little too late.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. I know the song, I just think...
She got an amazing one song. Okay, so we'll do your options just to see what you are.
You said you've already done it. You said you came out... Oh, okay, sorry.
I've not done that, we're just discussing them. So I'm just saying, if I was going to answer, I would have answered... Jojo, not
Too little too late. Demonetised.
Do you remember writing on VHS tapes with Sharpies?
Yes, of course I do.
Of course. That's something you used to do a lot. My mum used to record all the soaps on like one tape. And then she'd like rewind, redo it, and every week.
I used to record because when Neighbours, when I got really you said no.
I said yes.
Oh, I say when Neighbours before it went on Channel 5, it was still on BBC, and it was really good in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Fight me.
When VHS tapes were around.
Fight me if you don't agree with me on that. I recorded every time I went to college. I'd record Neighbours. So that when I got home I could watch
How much did a VHS fit? How many episodes?
They used to measure it by minutes. So you'd either get... It would be, so it would always say E for some reason. I never knew what E stood for.
Everyone.
I don't know. Anyway.
What do you mean? Where did it say E?
On the videotape, it would say E and then the length of the videotape.
Oh, estimated time?
Maybe. So anyway, the most common one most people would buy would be 180, which would be about 3 hours. Okay. But you get them any length. But most of the time you'd buy E180.
If you kept using them, rewinding, retaping, did they get worse quality or not?
Yes, they would start to wear. And also you should clean the pins on your VHS machine too. Do you know VHS tapes are becoming like, again, a bit like when people used to take typewriters into a coffee shop so they looked really... What is the word people used to call them? Like...
not emo. Instagram though.
Yeah, not emo. Like...
yeah.
But anyway,
I'm too old
but that's cool again now. So people are buying old VHS films and TV shows to have a collection of VHS. A VHS
in a cafe? What they bring?
No, for their own home collection. Oh. So VHS is becoming popular again now.
Well, Disney VHS are popular, aren't they?
Disney VHS and DVDs are very popular because we made the mistake, remember, when we sold The Lion King for like £5. This guy came over and was swarmed.
And then he bought it and he was like, "Did you know you can sell these for £10?"
Yeah, and we were like...
And he ran away.
Yeah, then we ran. He better run.
Yeah. Okay, so you remember VHS tapes then fondly?
Yeah.
I don't really. I remember my parents using them.
If I could, I'd still use VHS because I love VHS. They made VHS HD.
They're not good quality.
They made VHS HD.
Did they?
Yeah. They had HD VHS tapes. But obviously DVDs came along by that point, and then Blu-ray and...
Well, HD VHS came before DVD?
At the same time.
Yeah, but HD came after DVD.
No, but DVD was a better quality than VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but VHS, the HD
it wouldn't
VHS...
have been called HD before
It was called HD VHS tapes.
Well, before the HD was a thing?
HD's been a thing since the early 90s, Ben. Yeah, BBC were filming in HD and experimenting with it with NHK in Japan.
So you could have got it on VHS and it would be in HD?
No, you'd have to buy
TV wouldn't have been able to play it, so what's the point?
Well, no, because you could buy HD, you could buy high refresh rate TVs by the mid-2000s.
Oh, I'm thinking 90s. When did VHS stop?
VHS didn't expire for years. I'd say that they've only just...
Really?
Yes. I had a VHS player when you met me.
When I had Bad Girls, that was on DVD, and that was like 2000.
Yeah, but DVDs were still quite expensive at the time.
Oh, I had them.
Well, good for you. You're obviously a very spoiled young child.
Not like you, because you went on cruise ships. I didn't even know what cruise ship was.
Yeah, but I only had a VHS, so one outpaid the other.
That's why you could afford
to get nice cruise, to get nice holidays. I had to watch everything on VHS.
I had DVD and had Butlins.
Butlins is fine. I like Butlins.
No, I only went to Butlins once, but it's not in my memory. It's like being blanked from my mind.
Maybe you forgot to tell yourself about it. Next.
What?
As in, you tell me things.
I got bullied and it's been put out of my mind because I remember someone throwing gravel at someone. And I don't know if that someone was me.
Sounds like
or my cousin, I'm not sure.
Sounds like a John Sen flashback to me. Carry on.
What do you think of when you hear the words TikTok? Do you hear about Kesha's song, TikTok? Or do you hear about the app, TikTok?
To be fair, I'd say they're both in the same level for me. I mean, because it's the most recent, I'd probably say the app TikTok. But
like
I
1 year ago, you would have said. Okay, we'll go for the app.
Yeah, now we were talking about now. I'd say the app.
Do you ever rank? I mean, do we need to talk about this? TikTok is the most number one social media. It's like the fastest growing social media.
And everyone's trying to copy
in the whole world.
Good.
And Kesha, she was made to release music like that. She hated it.
She's the number one most tormented artist in the whole world.
She was. She had a thing against... What's that guy called Fox someone?
Fox?
He used to be on
studio?
TV. No, he used to be on like Pop Idol.
Oh God, him, the radio presenter.
So he presented
Dr. Fox. He used to do the Pepsi chart.
Does he also do record labels?
No.
Okay, it might be someone else. She had a lawsuit against someone. She was like, this was before Me Too or anything, and she had a lawsuit how her record company were like doing all these things to her and making her release music she didn't want to do. And that's why when she then came out with that album like 2 years ago, where she was really different. Because she's like a country singer. She's got a proper voice. She's friends with Dolly Parton. But she was made to do all this stupid electronics shit.
Well, pop music.
She fought it and made her own shit. So
good. Is there another artist who's now re-released all her songs as her version?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, that's it. Because she was in a similar situation. Her record company
owned them or something.
So she re-released the songs. They sound exactly the same,
but she's re-sung them, re-recorded them under her own label.
And that's her, and then that's her version, and that's the version most people listen to because record companies are evil and corrupt.
Or Mariah Carey. Her first husband was her producer. Did
he give her a blood diamond to pay?
He said to her, "You're only allowed to be photographed on one side of your face because your other side is horrible."
Well, to be fair,
he controlled her really badly, and then she released Butterfly.
Right. I know nothing about the history. I know nothing about the history of Mariah Carey.
Anyway, right. Did you ever rank your top 8 on MySpace?
Nope.
No?
I never had an...
So you're really old then. You're too old for this quiz, basically.
No, when MySpace came out, I was working doing admin for a precision engineering company. And...
I was still at school.
I set up a MySpace account, but I didn't... I felt it was really unfriendly to the user. So you
had to code your own shit.
Yeah, so I didn't like it. I don't know how I learned it.
I haven't logged any of that, but I used to be able to code the whole website. It was well fun.
I mean, it was a great idea.
Top 8 was, I used to do that. It used to cause so much trouble, though, in your friendship groups. Because if someone pissed you off, you could like put someone to 3 and put someone in 2.
What, you ranked people who you were friends with?
That's what you did, your top 8 friends, and it showed your top 8. So your top 8 friends would be in boxes.
That's damaging, that is. That's really mean.
It was really
horrible.
mean, but you'd go onto someone's thing and say, oh, they put me in the top 8, I might put her in my top 8, and like stuff like that.
That's like Big Brother, that is.
It was. And there was another thing, they released it a bit later, which was like, you could post like a forum post, so everyone could see it, and you could be like really, you could say sly things, but only let some people see them and stuff.
You can do that today, can't you? You can make like a...
Yeah, but this is the original.
This is the... Why 8? Why top 8? Not 10 or 5 or... Why 8?
That was the original thing, but you could code it to be more if you wanted, or less.
Okay.
Like top 3 if you wanted to be really bitchy.
I'm shocked that they haven't tried to bring back MySpace. I would have thought it would have done quite well.
So you're saying no to that then?
No, not that.
MySpace was... That's where Jeffree Star came from, MySpace.
Well, he's got a lot to answer for then, hasn't he?
A lot of those type of people did, but... Yeah, my friend Andrew used to be friends with Jeffree Star in like the early days. How weird is that?
How old was Andrew and how old was Jeffree Star at this point?
We were in first year of college.
Oh, okay. So what, 16, 17?
Yeah, 16, 17. Because Andrew bought a domain name for someone who wasn't famous yet. He was like Jeffree Star.
Oh, thinking that they would then need to buy it off him?
They kept emailing. Because Andrew didn't like the person, he wouldn't sell it to them. So they couldn't get their domain name. MySpace is very bitter and horrible.
Spiteful.
But fun. I can't remember who that person was. I don't think they're anyone anymore. Anyway, right. So the next question is, when you think of Ice Cube's acting... What? I don't know who Ice Cube is.
I do.
What movie comes to mind first? Friday or Are We There Yet?
Neither. Isn't he...
Who's Ice Cube?
Ice Cube's like a rapper turned actor, isn't he?
Do you know any of them?
Neither of them. I would just choose one. Let me look at the pictures.
Which one do you relate to more?
I relate to the one with the family.
Well, because you're trying to be young, basically.
Yeah. No.
Did you grow up watching Hannah Montana or The Sweet Life of Cody?
Well, neither of those.
You always talk about Hannah Montana.
Yeah, but I didn't grow up to Hannah Montana.
You watched it for some reason.
Yeah, because it was fun.
So no, then you didn't grow up watching it.
Did you grow up watching Hannah Montana? Well, I didn't grow up watching them. No,
So
I didn't
you're
grow
old.
up. Yeah, say no. But I do. I'm not. That doesn't.
Yeah, it's weird that you've watched it because I've never watched it and I'm younger than you, and it was too young for me.
Well, it's slightly justified because my niece at the time.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
No, she loved Hannah Montana, so she would watch it, and I'd be in the same room.
You spent so much time with your niece.
I did with I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to say my niece and nephew's name, but the eldest one.
X.
Yeah.
Call her X. Patient X 0.
Yeah, Patient Zero. Patient Zero. I did used to spend a lot of time with her.
Oh. Then I came along and no family.
Well, you did really. You took away all my family from me. Carry on.
Okay, what jeans do you prefer? Do you prefer loose or skinny?
I used to love my skinny jeans. I used to have a pair of skinny jeans, which then had a bit of a flare at the bottom of it. And I used to wear them, like those jeans, all the time in the 2000s.
That's one thing that Gen Zs don't like, do they? They don't like skinny jeans.
Yeah, but they like blooming leggings. Leggings are horrible.
They
They're
don't
so
like side
unflattering.
partings either. Middle parting only.
So I've got now, underneath this hat.
Well, there you go.
But why, if they don't like skinny jeans, why do they like leggings so much? Leggings are awful. They're so unflattering.
I know. It's because they can look flattering in photos, basically, if you're posing. I think that's why. But when you're walking in real life, it's like, nah.
It's one step away.
But when you pose in a photo, it can look good, I guess.
It's one step away from leisure wear. And
What's wrong
that's
with leisure wear? Leisure wear's
fine. Leisure wear's fine, but don't wear leisure wear if you're not planning to do it. What's that video
Well, Gen
with
Z-
all the mums who stand outside Costa with their leisure wear? Oh, active wear. Sorry, no, I'm talking about active wear. No, leisure wear's fine then. Leisure wear's the
Active
back.
wear is people... Gen Z are the ones who are implementing more casual clothes in offices. Thank
Good,
you very
I'm
much.
encouraging that.
So there you go. They do good.
Anytime I put a nice t-shirt on, it's for you guys there and watching.
Right, so was your first cell phone a flip phone, yes or no?
No.
Mine wasn't. Mine was just like a block.
I know what they're getting at with that, but no. I remember my first phone, but I couldn't tell you what it was, but it was an Orange brand. Orange doesn't exist anymore now. Just realised Orange
I was
doesn't
on
exist.
Virgin because you used to get free text that other people were on Virgin and all of our friends were on Virgin. So we just had free text between us.
I remember that.
But you had to keep like 2p of credit on your thing. And if you accidentally texted someone who wasn't on Virgin, then you had to then buy £5 credit.
BT Cellnet did that. So after I had my Orange phone, I moved to BT Cellnet. And these are all old networks that don't exist anymore. And yeah, we used to, basically me and all my friends used to go BT Cellnet.
When I ran out of credit, there's a website you could use where you type in a phone number and it gave you 10 free texts a month.
We used to use that. It was Lycos.
It was something like that.
No, it wasn't even
really
a month.
weird.
You get them free unlimited. It was called
Mine
Lycos.
wasn't. Mine was like, you have 9 remaining. And I used to text that saying, I've run out of credit, everyone. It was so sad.
No, it was called Lycos. You used to be able to send free text messages on Lycos. God knows what information they used to get from that.
Yeah, I know.
Now you think about it, they don't do it anymore. But yeah, it was. But Lycos, does Lycos exist? And it was a search engine.
I don't know what Lycos is.
Lycos was a search engine. Its logo is a black Labrador dog. No. You should go bubble on this front screen.
When you hear the word Millie,
Vanilli.
What do you think of?
Vanilli.
Do you think of Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things or A Millie by Lil Wayne?
Well, out of those two, I think of Millie Bobby Brown because Stranger Things is an outstanding TV series, and I think that series 2 and 3 are both very good. Fight me.
And it should have finished on series 3.
Well, we don't know that. We haven't seen series 4 yet.
Yeah, but I like the end. Did you memorise your friends' phone numbers so you could freeway call on your landline?
No.
I never did that.
That's an American thing. You couldn't really do that in the UK, do 3-way calls.
No. When you hear the name Harry, who comes to mind? Harry Styles or Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
Everyone loves Harry Styles, but I think he does look slightly like a cow. Do you not think?
Well, as in the animal,
Yeah,
rather than you
the
bitch, you
animal.
cow, yeah.
In a nice way. I don't know. It's a good cow vibe.
It's a shame what's happened with Harry Potter, really, because it's been
Because of
slightly
J.K. Rowling.
tainted by J.K. Rowling. Did you see that about a week ago she said something else again?
No.
I don't know exactly what she said, but she put another anti-trans comment on Twitter. She's such a dickhead.
Oh, it's so weird as well because she had everything. She had the world.
But also she seemed really
so-
open.
yeah.
What's her problem?
And the whole story of Harry Potter was meant to be like open and being who you are, really.
Dumbledore was gay. Gay, I tell you.
Well, she said that after she wrote it, so...
It's fine by me. I don't mind a bit of retcon.
Did you grow up watching MTV shows like Next, Date My Mum, and Room Raiders?
I love Next. Yes, Next is one of the great, and they need to bring it back 100%. Next is, I've shown
I
you
don't think
clips
it would work,
of Next.
though.
No, it's terrible. It's absolutely
stupid now.
awful and disgusting
No,
what
if
they
they
used to
brought
do.
it back, I mean.
Yeah, but I've shown you clips of it, haven't I? The premise, anyone who's not watched Next on MTV, oh my God.
It's like speed dating, kind
They
of.
had 5 people on a bus, and that bus followed the date, who used to go to lots of different places where they used to have lots of dates. And one at a time, they come off the bus, and that person who they went to see for the date used to kind of say, okay, yeah, I'll go on a date with you. And for every minute they survived the date, they won $1. Like, it was so cheap. Like, I think the most anyone ever won was like $10.
To get rid of them, you shouted Next.
Well, yeah, the one who's
You didn't
dating,
like them.
if they said Next. But if at the end of the date the person likes them and says, would you like to go on a second date? Then that person who went on the date gets to choose whether they go on a second date or take the money. And the funny thing is, because the money was
$10.
yeah, because the money was such a meager amount, like you could literally buy nothing with it. If they took the money, it was the ultimate insult, and it was hilarious. I loved Next.
The gay episodes were the funniest because they used to like get together on the bus when and stuff,
Yeah, they used to make out on the bus instead.
with the other day.
And when they did their bio at the beginning, it's like, my name's John and I like riding. And then they do like a pause. It's like, oh, honestly, bring back Next. MTV, bring back Next. I'll host it.
Yes there.
Oh, yeah. But yeah.
Final question. I've kind of ruined this for you, but what hair parting do you prefer? Middle or side?
I know, before you said I would prefer a middle.
Oh, really?
I've got my middle.
Okay.
Middle for the
Moving
middle.
on, what about Rihanna? She's got a side part.
What about Rihanna? What's that have to do with anything?
Fine. You are Gen Z.
I knew it.
You care deeply about the environment.
I do.
You view society through a morally conscious lens.
Yeah.
And you hope to leave this world a better place than you found it.
I'm not that optimistic.
You might spend a bit too much time on your phone, but you also know how to harness the power of technology for good.
I would say I'm middle ground still. I reckon I'm a millennial.
You're a vegan, you care about
Virgin.
environment though, you know. It's
That's true. I'm a
Going
good
on.
guy. I'm a nice guy.
There you go. You are technically a millennial, but mentally Gen Z.
A child.
I feel that I've kept you young.
What did you come
basically.
out as? Or you said you
I
didn't?
didn't do it. That was
Would
the
you have
first
answered
time
the same questions though?
No.
Well, do you want to quickly go through the ones?
Really quickly.
Really quickly go through the ones you would have answered.
Okay. Jojo.
Okay. VHS? No. TikTok or TikTok?
Kesha.
Kesha? Yes.
I don't know any
Just do
of
the...
these.
Oh, okay, you're doing different.
No, I don't like them. Skinny jeans.
Yes.
When I was thinner, back when I was younger.
I remember you used to wear
now,
skinny jeans.
not skinny jeans. Is not
You used to wear skinny jeans all the time.
I did.
I remember when we first started dating...
There's bits of my hair on my legs that won't grow back because they've been rubbed off by skinny jeans.
By skinny jeans. When we first started dating... I'm going to tell everyone this dating story while you finish that off. When Ben and I first started dating, like on our second or third date, it was around Christmas, and so I went Christmas shopping with Ben for him to find a present for his niece, whose name will be...
Patient one.
Patient one. And I just noticed also I said she and then got all panicked because I was like, oh no, niece would indicate that it's a she, so that's a stupid
I'm a
thing to say.
millennial, by the way, everyone.
Oh, well done. You cherish
Cherish
experiences.
experience, travelling over material items. Yeah, I do prefer travelling over material items, actually. As you've gotten older, your self-confidence has grown, nope. And as your ambition, no. You have big dreams for yourself, no.
You have got
and
big
you
dreams.
don't mind working hard, yes I do, to make them come true. So that doesn't apply to me.
Anyway, so Ben was going up the escalator as we were going up to the shop. I've told you this story before.
Right.
And you were wearing like really tight skinny jeans. And there's no lie that I did fall for your behind. And
Back in the day.
literally back in the day. And I remember just stood behind. Actually, I shouldn't tell the story. Carry on. Why do I always start a story and really like instantly regret it?
Don't know, but that's
Disgusting.
oh, what is going on? Let me just find it here somewhere. The internet always goes funny around now, doesn't it?
Maybe I should have finished the story. It's a story for the ages. So as a millennial then, you don't feel self-confident and you don't feel like you can do a greater good. You say you've not got aspirations. There's a couple of things you're aspiring to that you're actively trying to do.
Yeah, but I've not got aspirations in a career. Right, anyway.
Well, it would be a career if you achieved it.
True.
How's Trish?
This video came up, which I knew you would instantly hate and get riled up by. It just came up just now, so I thought I'd add it onto the show.
The first line immediately makes me angry.
It says, Brexiteers ironically living abroad. Insight into the mindset of British immigrants in Spain who voted for the UK to leave the EU.
Before you started, can I just say how interesting they're using the term, and the correct term, immigrant, British immigrants, because they're immigrants.
Well,
and
this man on here would disagree with you.
Well, it really winds me up when they say, I'm an expat. What makes them an expat then?
Well, this man will tell you. Calm down.
Expatriate.
You need to listen to this and then you can spew.
I'm going to put my finger in this ear just so I can hear it really well, because I want to pick up on everything they say.
Well, if you need me to pause, just let me know.
Okay.
And a foreigner.
Well, first of all, expats are British. A foreigner is probably someone living from another country living in Britain. They become foreigners.
Pause. So what makes you not a foreigner then?
I know.
You're a foreigner in another country then. So you're a foreigner.
But he's decided to call himself an expat.
Oh, you ignorant prick. Honestly, how dare you? How dare you? It's just elitism again. It's like, oh, I'm better. I can lord myself around in another country. I'm allowed to do it.
Literally 10 seconds. You got 2 minutes yet.
Oh, goodness me.
The British are never foreigners wherever they go.
Oh, how dare you? That's disgusting.
Morning, Joyce. Morning, Bill. How are you?
Wherever they go.
We live in our own communities. There are
Of course
ghettos.
you do. So you
They
keep
are
just
posh
ghettos.
But they are still
Posh
ghettos.
That's another thing.
There are
Pause. They don't integrate themselves into. Can you imagine? Well, you don't have to imagine, because it's moaned about all the time. Someone comes, a foreigner who's not an expat, comes to the UK and doesn't integrate themselves, or the way they feel. Say, for instance,
And the language.
Exactly. Say, for instance, they're talking their own language because they feel more comfortable talking their own language to each other on a bus. Oh, you're not integrating into the country. How dare you? You should be integrating. You should be. Well, yeah. And him, we're in our own ghettos, in our own part of Spain, where we're speaking to each other in English. But that's fine because we're British, so we're allowed to. Just winds me up.
Spaniards around here. Any Spaniards that would be here are here probably because they are working
for us.
For the British. I speak the language and I hardly ever speak to any Spaniards.
Well, you're a horrible person.
Here, there are British people who have lived here 15, 20 years and cannot leave the coast, because once they go off the coast, they can't use English and they can't speak Spanish, so they are confined to the coast.
We're very happy here. Lovely friends. The health service is very good here.
My wife went to get an appointment yesterday.
You won't be getting it free anymore.
At the doctor's, and she's got it for tomorrow. You couldn't do that in England.
Eddie, did you vote in the referendum then?
I did, yeah.
And
I voted for Brexit.
Of course you did.
why was that?
I just felt it was right for the country.
In what way?
Well, the country you don't live in, yeah.
We were losing control.
Losing control.
Not
Pause.
the
This is the
UK.
one thing that winds me up. We did
Do you want
not
to hear what he
lose-
says first and then you can reply to him? Because
Okay.
he's backing up his claim.
Okay, yes, I should hear his side first.
It always has had its control of its own borders, its own lands. I moved back to the UK. No.
But you were...
I can't say.
No, sunshine, hot, like it here,
So, yes, they need to control our own borders.
Of course, yeah, borders that he has just gone through to get to Spain to live in, of course.
And not moving back either.
We had a perfectly good, the EU did not control us in any way. We could have vetoed any EU law if we wanted to. It's just ridiculous that people say that bollocks. It's absolute bollocks.
People that live in England, like Polish and whatever, a lot of them felt like they weren't welcome in England anymore. You know, they're coming out of EU, go back to your own country. We haven't had that over here from the Spanish people.
You pushed them all away.
Well, to be fair to her,
I think
she's...
Spanish need the English and whatever.
Oh, and then she just ruined it for
the
herself.
Irish for the
They
economy.
don't need you, love.
They're
They do not
keeping the
need
economy
you.
going.
They're keeping the economy going.
Are they? What, in their little ghetto? And her pink
Bargain
leopard
loving
skin
Brits who
top?
pay £2 for an item, keeping it going.
It's really
Sure.
difficult to find someone speaking Spanish in this area. I'm from Madrid actually, but I came here 4 summers ago just to work. I'm starting to work in an English bar, and when I'm trying with my English very low level, trying to get an order or ask for a drink, maybe I said wrong words or something funny, and I remember how a few people laughed at me because my English wasn't good. I felt
Disgusting that he feels like he's being intimidated in the country that he was born in because some British people
Speaking his language.
aren't speaking. He should. If I was him, and I know he probably needs the job, so I completely appreciate it. But if I was that guy, I would just speak Spanish to them. And then when they go, what are you talking about, mate? I'd go, oh, the British. It's just disgusting.
Awful. That really wound me up, that video. So I thought I'd share it with you.
Thank you. I mean, it just, I just hate. Remember when
Close-minded. Boomers.
It just makes me so angry. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm awful. I cannot. I barely speak English well, but like I do not know any other languages, and I feel disgusting that I am like that.
Yeah, but the fact that they were so proud that they had pushed all other Spanish people away from where they lived, hadn't bothered learning the language, it's just
disgusting.
And they think it's funny as well.
Well, they're laughing at the Spanish. It's just that's how disgraceful it is. They're laughing at these people whose their land they're living in. You know, if I'm going to use their mindset for what they're doing, they're going into another country and pushing them out and laughing at them and making fun of them. And yet, if they had that done to them, they'd be the first ones to complain and blooming put into like a right-wing Twitter comment at some point somewhere. It's just disgusting. Where was it? We were on holiday and I think it was a cruise. We got off the boat. And do you know the story I'm thinking of? And like they were trying to get a taxi or something. I forget what happened. And
yeah, the taxi person didn't speak English, wasn't it? It was something like that. It was the same place where the same family went, is there a Greg's here?
Oh, that's right.
It was like in the middle of a village in
it was Spain.
Rural Spain or something.
And they asked if there was a Greg's. And
yeah, they said something. There was something about a taxi. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Oh, they said we want to get a taxi, but they don't bloody understand us.
Yeah,
it's like you're in Spain, you knob. Just sort yourselves out.
Wanker.
Give yourself a rattle, please. Please give yourself a rattle.
Let's calm things down
Wind your
by
necks
looking
in.
at this tortoise.
Oh, talking about necks getting wound in. What a gorgeous tortoise.
This is the best account ever.
Oh.
And he eats flowers. You don't think that's the cutest
Oh, he's
thing
gorgeous.
ever.
Yeah, can we watch him eat again?
sweet.
Just watch him eat again, quick. Just literally consumes. He's like Kirby. Consumes that
He's
flower.
just the cutest thing.
That's fantastic.
I didn't know tortoises eat flowers, but
Yeah, just eat anything.
he's so sweet.
Flowery or...
So just to make everyone a bit happy. He's got a little hat on as well, and he's eating
I don't know how I feel about them putting a hat on him, but...
He likes it.
Well,
She puts flowers in the bath to make him go in the water to cool down.
Aw.
So
I
he's
love
so
tortoises. I
sweet.
think they're gorgeous. I think they're
See,
so
look,
sweet.
she's making him go into the bath now.
Oh, good. He needs a good cool down.
Oh.
Can we get a tortoise?
You have to have a big garden.
No, you don't. You just need a little space. You can stay inside with Charlie. Him and Charlie can have lots of fun.
But there you go. That's just a nice little end for a dramatic episode of the Walford, I feel.
Yeah, I enjoyed that episode, actually.
Lovely
It was fun.
tortoise. I can't remember his name, but he's lovely.
Call him Tommy. Tommy the tortoise.
So there you go. That was this week's list of stuff that I found to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed participating.
Don't forget to watch next week where Ben and I will be testing each other's knowledge of one another.
Yes, couple quiz.
Yeah, and also maybe next week I can get around to sorting out that idea I came up with about your childhood.
Oh, okay. Very mysterious.
But maybe not.
So make sure you subscribe then to the channel so you don't miss the podcast next week. But until then, goodbye.